You know what? I had a whole intro prepared for this video. I was going to explain that in part the reason I haven't been making videos very frequently is because it's the summer in Canada. So we gotta take advantage of those 4 days. And because I'm always out with my friends, I'm riding my scooter, I'm going by the river, I'm having picnics, whatever. Even though I'm away from my stuff, I always bring some stuff with me. And that's the EDC. Everyday carry. You know what that is, right? Maybe this is the first EDC video you're watching. In that case, well, I'm honored to have you here. This is my current bag. I really looked on the Swissgear website trying to find the model. I bought this maybe 2 years ago. Could not find it. Google Lens was no help either. It's just a basic messenger bag, so I like it. I'm sure there's tons that are just like it. I don't need to recommend this one specifically. Here's the first pouch, right? So let's see what we have here. Here I have a notebook. I got contact information here on the first page, just in case I lose it somewhere. There's a little message from my mom here. Her handwriting, much nicer than mine. So this is where I write video ideas. I write shopping lists sometimes on here. Sometimes I feel like writing on paper. It reminds me of the type of stuff I had to do as a kid in school. In fact, as a kid, I loved writing on little notebooks like this. I never had anything this nice though. So yeah, I sketch sometimes. I'm not very good at it at all, but my family gets a laugh out of it whenever I try to do this. And my mom's neat handwriting again. And for those wondering, I go back and forth between English and Portuguese when I'm writing my notes. So obviously if I have a notebook, I'm going to need some pens as well. I got a couple here. And a marker, because I figured why not. Even though I try to avoid using a marker on that little notepad because the ink bleeds through the other side and it kind of looks messy. Right here, I love this thing. This is a little tin can. You might have seen this at like a candy shop, or sometimes they have this at Best Buy by the checkout counters. This is a little tin can that came with some candy that was not very good at all. In fact, calling it candy is giving it too much credit. It was really colored pellets of sugar. So I use the tin can, which, you know, Game Boy, obviously gotta love it, for some toiletries. I have a mint spray here. I got some Tums. I usually don't need it, that's why I haven't even opened it, but it's there. I got some combination toothpick and floss, and some band-aids in there as well. So that goes in that little pocket here. This is a new addition to my EDC actually. This is called the Stealth by Cypher, and this is basically a vape charger. There's a THC oil cartridge in here that attaches magnetically via the adapter that comes with the unit. It's pretty strong, even like pulling it out takes a bit of force. So it has a button here to turn it on. You press it 5 times, it comes on. There's a little LCD screen here on the side showing the voltage, the percentage of battery charge, the resistance for your particular cartridge, and there's a little session timer that I don't understand how it's supposed to work. But yeah, and then you can also change the voltage by pressing this button here. This has done wonders for my anxiety and my lack of sleep. I used medication for those issues, and they not only did they not work very well, I didn't like the side effects, and they were more expensive. So switching to this has been a very positive experience for me. And I only say this because we're talking about mind-altering substances, and I want to make sure that this is a personal choice for me, that I'm not endorsing or recommending to anyone. I'm just talking about my own experience, and I think it goes without saying, but I'll say it anyway. Because I live in Canada, this is 100% legal. Right here, we have my earbuds. They're Urban Ears. They're cheap. I bought them at Best Buy for like 50 bucks. Nothing special about them. The case closes with a satisfying magnetic snap, though the magnet is not very strong, so this is kind of flimsy. And most importantly, charges over USB Type-C. This is something I'm trying to change with all of my devices, everything around me. If I can choose something that charges over USB Type-C, that's usually what I go with. Also, one of the benefits of this vape thing here, charges over USB Type-C. My other vape pens required a proprietary plug-in that you stick into like a USB outlet. It's a mess. This is much better. Oh, my Zippo lighter. I'm not a big smoker, but I've always wanted a Zippo lighter, you know, blame the movies. And in fact, this, you might notice, it's a different insert than it's usually used with a Zippo. This is the original insert. This is made by Zippo, by the way, which is cool. Because the original insert, for those who know, for those who've owned Zippos, you probably know, very classic looking design, but it leaks out. The fluid doesn't last here. You'll load it up, and then if you don't use it for like a week, next time you go to use it, it's dead. So I found this thing on an EDC recommendation thread on Reddit, and it's made by Zippo, so that's kind of cool because it's still kind of like, it's still an authentic Zippo experience by every definition of the word. You load it with butane down here, and still works just the way a regular Zippo works, except it's a butane torch, and you can't let go of the little button here and have the flame stay on. That being said, this works way better, and you're not constantly wasting your lighter fluid, so that's a win in my book. Again, the only reason I love this thing is because I grew up seeing this in movies, and that's why, because this is not a great design. I mean, it's better now that I put in this thing, but the Zippo is never something I truly needed in my life. I just like having it, and ever since I started using cannabis, I had the first time the need to carry a lighter with me, and I'm like, there we go, this is my moment, now I need a Zippo. Also, these things are expensive. I've lost a couple. There's a lot of downsides with this thing, but I just like it. Oh hey, here it is. I got a bunch of wet naps in here because I'm OCD when it comes to getting my hands dirty. So if I get my hands dirty for whatever reason, I feel this, you know, this intense urge to get it cleaned, and here we go. Oh, this thing here is a very simple and cheap addition to my EDC, but I find myself using this constantly. This is a remote shutter for the camera on my phone, which, by the way, I guess that's part of my EDC as well. This is the Z Fold 3. I've been rocking it since it came out last year, and I absolutely love it. Once you're used to what was I watching here? Somewhere News. Once you get used to a phone that doubles as a tablet, it's hard going back. I have some other phones that I use for different functions. Some phones have more storage, some phones have better cameras, but this is, for the time being, my daily driver. There's so many functions that become so much better, leagues better, by being able to just open the phone and having access to more screen real estate. I've been meaning to make a full video about the experience, so expect that soon now that I'm back to creating videos on a somewhat consistent schedule. Anyway, back to the shutter. To explain why this shutter has become such an important part of my EDC, I gotta talk about the Z Fold 3 again. One of the big benefits of this phone is that you can use the rear-facing camera for selfies, because since you have a screen on the other side, you can use it as a viewfinder to frame your shots. And you can also use the wide-angle camera for group selfies too. So now holding this thing like this, like a tablet basically, and hitting the button is pretty awkward, right? So with something like this, I can just turn it on here. Let me show you. Flick it on. It's like Bluetooth. It's powered by a little watch battery. So there you go. It's recording video. I should have changed that. Let me stop that. Let's change it back to picture mode. Where is it? Right here, photo. So there you go. And then the hand that I'm holding this, I just kind of hide it. I try to, you know, pose it so that people can't see that I'm the one pressing the button. This is something that I've seen so many times, and I've always thought of this kind of technology as like boomer tech, like a selfie stick or remote shutter, but it's actually very useful. For the record, I used to think that having like those little pop sockets behind your phone to prop them up, I used to think that's boomer tech as well. I totally see the merits of those now, having used them for a while. In fact, that's an idea for a video. Boomer tech could be interesting. Anyway. So, next pouch, wow. Now we have my pride and joy, my emulation daily driver, the mini Game Boy that I wish Nintendo would one day make. When they announced, I don't want to reach towards it, mine is over here on the side. Remember the mini SNES, the mini NES? And we all thought, hey, maybe they will make a mini Game Boy one day. Never happened, but they didn't have to, because now I have this, the Miyoo Mini. This thing is amazing. This thing is an emulation powerhouse. It emulates all the way up to the PlayStation, and once I installed Onion OS, which is a custom firmware for it, it became way better, because now, as you can see, this middle button here, once I press it, it'll take a screenshot of the game, it'll save it, and then I go back to the screen where all the latest games I played are. So if I press that button again, it drops me right into the game. Press it, takes a screenshot, saves it, and then back to the main screen. And this allows me to be able to jump back and forth between games. There's a sense of speed and agility to using this thing that I never had with any system. And as you know, I have tried a lot of them. So this thing is hard to beat. The form factor, the screen is beautiful, the controls are just, everything is just, it screams premium quality. I can't recommend this thing enough. I never leave the house without it. Look at this, Command & Conquer Red Alert. Oh my God, if you had told little Izzy one day back in the 90s that one day I would not only own a bunch of Game Boys, right? I would have a whole bunch of these, but that I don't even care about them anymore because I have something smaller and lighter and that plays better games, that I don't have to spend money buying batteries for. Oh my goodness, this thing, like, people ask me, hey Izzy, like, is this thing actually worthwhile? Like, do you actually play on this thing, or did it just become one of your trinkets? No, this thing is the real deal. If you buy this thing, you will not regret it. I guarantee it. And we're pretty much wrapping up here. Big pocket here I have because I'm constantly going out and hanging out with friends. I got some beef jerky because it's about, you know, a decent snack to have when you're out and about, because I'm not, you know, buying fast food, and at least it's protein. It's not the best protein you could be eating, but you know, when you're hanging out with friends, sometimes that's the kind of choices you have to make. And I have a bunch of candy here. In a lot of ways, I feel like a kid, and I mean, what else I need to say? There's a fruit bar here too, and a little granola bar. And last but not least, my water bottle. Now this thing, as you can see, is shaped like a little rectangle. And obviously this makes it a lot easier to fit into a bag like mine here. This fits, I believe, 350 milliliters. If I'm wrong, I'll pull up the image from the Amazon order. But yeah, it's a decent amount. Usually when I know I'm gonna be out for a long time and it's a particularly hot day, I'll fill it up halfway, throw it in the freezer, and then take it out, fill the rest with water, and then I have ice cold water my entire ride. So yeah, I guess this is it. Am I forgetting anything? No, that's everything. Oh no, you know what? I am forgetting one thing. In fact, two things. My Swiss Army knife. It's very important to have something to cut with. There's little scissors here. There's tools for the scooter if I need it. And hopefully I won't, because I don't trust myself fixing my scooter. And a loonie. For those who don't know, a loonie is what we call the Canadian $1 coin. And I need this to unlock the shopping carts when I go grocery shopping. So it's a pain to get there and not have this. My wallet doesn't have an area for coins, so that's where I keep it, right there. That's it. That's my EDC for August. I know it's been a while. My idea was to make one of these once a month, but here we go. This is what I'm carrying in my bag with me right now for this summer. I hope you liked this video. I'm going to be trying, like I said, to adhere to a more consistent upload schedule. And that's it for now. Oh, by the way, you saw me gushing about the Miyoo Mini, and that's like 1/10 of what I have to say about this device. Expect a new video on it very, very soon. I really do love this thing. And probably a review of this thing as well, because there aren't many on the internet. So for those who partake, if you're interested, let me know in the comments. And that's all the time I have for today. I'm Izzy, and I'm done.